He's here. Let's call to order the meeting of the Monroe County Redevelopment Commission for Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. Jeff, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Martin.
Present.
Commissioner Kiesling.
Present.
Commissioner Cassidy.
Rob.
I will note for the record that Commissioner Cassidy is attending electronically and that we have seen him and heard him already. And then Commissioner Tucker.
Present.
Add. Taking somebody's place?
Commissioner McCarty
Yeah.
is not,
Right, he's not.
is not
He's
present
not
at this
coming.
point.
We're not here this week. Correct.
Dr. Sanders, would you care to join us up here? Tell us about the wonderful things that are happening at RBB.
All right, glad to do that.
We are helping to facilitate.
You are. I am by myself tonight because we're on fall break. And I actually look forward to working during fall break because I can get some uninterrupted work done. But so it's me tonight, and I'm glad to be here. I'm superintendent of Edgewood Schools, and thanks to all of you, we continue to do some great and exciting things for our students at Edgewood. Some of these slides that I'm going to show tonight are slides you've seen before. But I've updated this presentation, and I really want to get to some of the slides at the end, and I'll explain that here in a little bit. But as you know, our STEM program has expanded to Ready Schools, and under Ready Schools umbrella is STEM or STEAM, Project Lead the Way, our student-run businesses, innovative learning opportunities, and where we have developed a graduate profile. And we've talked to you, shared this before in the past, how we've met with various businesses around the community and had conversations with them about what do they look for in their employees. And we've taken those skills that they've mentioned, and that we've integrated those into our graduate profile, what we expect our students to look like. And then we've taken that graduate profile and we've broken it down by grade level. So even first, second, third grade teachers can make sure that what they're doing in the classroom aligns with what is expected of students when they graduate from Edgewood High School. We want our graduates to, when they graduate, when they walk across that stage, that they're ready to go do whatever that they have dreamed of doing. So if they're going to college, we want them prepared for that. If they're going into the military, we want to make sure we're providing them with opportunities to be successful there. And some are going to go on to a trade school, and others are going to go directly into the workforce. And that's where these conversations with our local business leaders comes into play, especially because then those students, when they go and they're interviewing for jobs, then hopefully the employer can see and skills in them that they're work ready. On the second page, the slide up in the right left-hand corner talks about next level pathways. So we've developed 15, I think we're going to be soon up to 16 pathways. And what this is we've aligned a group of classes that would be under the umbrella of one of these pathways. So our students would take this list of classes, and then it would inform them more about that particular career And then as they're getting ready to graduate and they're going off to college or trade school, then they will have a little bit more of an informed decision. Too many times students go, they think they might want to go to college, and they get into college and they've picked a major, but they find out they don't particularly like that field like they thought they would. So this is an idea to get in front of that, be proactive, and hopefully save parents like myself some money where I had one of mine could not figure out what his major was going to be, and then he's taking some classes he doesn't need to. So this is all about helping them to be informed as they move on to the next level. So something new that we're doing in Edgewood schools, it's called high reliability schools. And I don't know if you've heard of Robert Marzano, but he's a educator that helps schools to get focused on what they are all about, and then everything is aligned to that focus. And there are 5 levels to be in a high reliability schools. And so we are working our way through each one of these levels. Level 1 is safe, supportive, and collaborative culture. 2 is effective teaching in every classroom. 3 is guaranteed and viable curriculum. 4 is standards referenced reporting. And the top level is competency-based education. And so we are developing what's called playbooks for each of these levels. And these playbooks are going to define who we are, especially it's going to be really important at levels 2 and 3 when we're talking about effective teaching and curriculum. So many times in education, school corporations, they end up moving one way or the other depending on who's steering the ship, who is the leader, who's the principal, who's the superintendent, and then when a new principal comes in or a new superintendent comes in, then that person, they kind of want to take it their own direction. And so what we're doing now is we're saying with these playbooks, each school is going to have one, that this is what we believe in. This is our vision. This is who we are in terms of instruction and curriculum. And when new people are coming in, new leadership comes into the school corporation, they will be expected to abide to those playbooks. That will help our teachers out. Instead of every so many years having to change what they're doing in the classroom, they'll be consistent year in and year out. And so high reliability schools is becoming the foundation of Edgewood schools. And so the next slides are just talking a little bit about working with our students, our teachers in the community. And on a slide about working with teachers, just wanted to highlight, underline 2 of them. K-12 Ready Schools coaches focusing on research-based instructional strategies to increase engagement and growth. So we are aligning ourselves with the new art and science of teaching. And when we're developing the playbooks I just mentioned a minute ago, the playbooks will be based on the new art and science of teaching. And so when teachers, principals come into the corporation, they will be expected to follow those guidelines. Absorbing RBB communications into the EHS marketing class. So I don't know if we mentioned last time, but a few years ago, we hired a marketing director to tell the story of Edgewood schools. In doing so, she fell in love with teaching, and now she's a teacher at the high school, and she's teaching the marketing class.
Right.
So she's not going to be just doing she's going to be leading the effort, but our students are going to be telling our story. And they are already working with businesses, creating flyers for those businesses. They are going to be overseeing our website. And now that might sound a little scary, but it's not, because these students are very creative and knowledgeable and skilled, and they're going to do a great job with our marketing. Working with students, and I'm going to get to this a little bit more deeper, but I want to talk to you a little bit about some more about our coffee shop. And
How is it going?
yeah, it's going fabulous. And I'll just give you a little sneak preview. The slides at the end, they're in black. Those slides were part of a presentation that the business leaders who run the coffee shop, they had a meeting with myself and our director of teaching and learning, and they gave, just like they would give a report to a board of directors, they were giving a report to me, and they're going to come to our school board meeting on October 28th, of where they are as a business and where they want to go. They want to share their vision with me down the road. But just this quick sneak peek here to those slides is they reported to me, and I never thought we would be at this point, but they are looking, they've tracked their profits, and they're on track to profit $30,000 this year. And their proposal to me was they want to be open all day. And if they feel like if they could be open all day, they feel like they could reach 50,000. And so I think that's pretty amazing. I never thought we would be having one of our student-run businesses profiting that much money. And then the slide on working with our community. We, as you know, we've mentioned this before, we have a business leaders advisory team that we bring on campus twice a year, once each semester, and we facilitate conversations between our students, our business leaders, and our local community business leaders. Last year we set the room up in such that there were 2 or 3 business people from the community sitting at a table with 2 or 3 students and talking about really the business leaders giving their advice to the students. This year, the students who run the business, the coffee shop, will be doing a presentation for the visitors that day. But that's so important that we keep those conversations up. Those conversations not only help us with current projects, but with our vision of where we want to go down the road. We have, I can't make it public just yet. We have an idea that we're working with partners now to develop some local really key partners that will help in training future employers, where those facilitators from those companies will actually come to the high school while students are juniors and seniors and enable them to earn credentials they need to have and when they get into that job. So in other words, we'll have somebody come to the high school, have the students go through the credentialing process. Then those students will graduate from high school and go right into one of our local businesses. So what we're doing there is creating a firm pipeline from high school to the local employer. There's more to come on that down the road. Probably, hopefully next time I come back, we'll be able to share some more details of that. Then we have the page, get down to the Ready School budgets, which the print is way too small for me. But it just kind of shows you a little bit about where our expenditures are. Most of our expenditures that comes from the RDC, the money that you guys provide us, goes towards our 4 full-time instructional coaches that take these initiatives that I talked to you guys about. They make sure they're happening in each school. And so they meet with teachers, they meet with groups of teachers, they meet with administrators, and make sure that I'm not just coming and giving you a pie in the sky report. I'm coming and telling you about what is actually happening. And I'm going to get to, I think, the next slide where it has a purple. Oh, you don't have the color version there. But Ready Schools program alignment. And at the bottom of that is where you see RDC partnership and high reliability schools. So what I want to point out to you on that is that's at the basis, that's at the foundation. We have taken what you provided several years ago, and every year since then, that was like the RDC planting a seed, and that seed is growing every day. And we're doing much more than we ever described we would do when we first set out. Was it 2016? Something like that. And to what we're doing today is we've just expanded so much more beyond that. But what I really wanted to hit home tonight is that even though we're reaching out and we're getting other grant opportunities and we're growing our partnerships, the RDC is at the foundation of what we do. And I can't say enough about how important that funding is, that if, anytime you pull out the bottom of the foundation of a building, you pull out the bottom of that foundation, the whole, whatever you build upon it is going to fall. And that's how important it is for the funding that you provide Edgewood Schools. We're doing some fabulous things, but it would all come to a crash if we didn't have your support and your partnership. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for all that. All right, I just want to share you some of the slides there that where it says coffee shop info and expansion plan. So we had 3 students. They're all 3 seniors, and they gave a presentation to me, and basically they wanted to propose to be open all day. And that takes some extra work, some extra planning to be able to make sure we have students who can staff that we want to make sure that we're not interfering with other educational opportunities going on. But I just want to share with you some of the slides that they shared with me, where it talks about some of their expansion ideas. Right now, they've created an app that I think I shared with you last time, that if I wanted to order a coffee or a drink, I don't drink coffee, but I drink a bubble drink. I'll share that with you in a little bit. But all I have to do is get on my phone and order the coffee. It has all my information already stored, and I order it. I pay for it online, and about 10 minutes later, somebody brings me a drink in my office. And we have that now. So the coffee shop is at the high school, but our staff, teachers and the staff at the junior high and elementary schools, they could use that same app, and they can deliver their drink to those teachers. And believe me, I don't know if you have any Starbucks fans in here, but some people get uptight if they don't get their coffee in the morning. And I've received a couple complaints where, hey, I've ordered my coffee drink, it's not here yet. So just like any other business, we have to make sure we make our customers happy. But one of our new purchases through another grant is a golf cart. And so our students will be able to deliver their products using that golf cart. And students will have to go through a certification training to be able to drive the golf cart. We've put some safety measures on there where it limits the speed, and there's going to be a camera on there so we can make sure the students are driving safely. But they'll take the products around campus on that golf cart. And so you'll see the vision for 2024, 2025, and as I mentioned, they're on target for profiting $30,000 this year, and are just growing up. It's going to grow and expand. They have created some visions for all the way up through 2028, 2029 school year. And by then they want to be able to have a food truck that they could take to like the fall festival, that they could take to community events and be able to continue to increase their profits. One of those students that presented to me, and one of our recent graduates, is already has plans to go to the Kelley School of Business. We had one last year that's already there, and then the one who presented to me, he asked me to write a letter of recommendation for him for the Kelley School of Business, and it was the easiest one I ever wrote because this kid is sharp, and he's already very business minded. Their success is really at the hands of our students. When we say student-run business, we really mean that.
Are they all tend to be a little older, or are they younger, or what?
Well,
where are we hitting?
Yeah.
You know, level of class doesn't make any difference. I'm more interested in how old they are rather than.
Yeah. So, 17, 18 years old, some 16-year-olds would be involved, and sometimes one of our teachers, who is our business teacher, she's a little worried because she says, I have had so many exceptional students. I just worry about next year. And I told her, be assured, there are some more exceptional students coming up. And that's all about, when we talk about graduate profile and taking our efforts down to the elementary and the junior high level, it's all about preparing those kids so when they do get up and they are the business leaders, they're ready for it. You see on the last page some work from around our Innovative Learning Center. The top left-hand page is a place for them to put their products in the coffee shop. That stand there was made by our students out of recycled plastic.
Really? Good for them.
So we have a student who's developed a way to recycle the plastic using the tops of soda drink plastic bottles, and recycle that, and they made that product where they could put the product for the coffee shop right there in that little design there. And then you see also some from the marketing class, you could see some of the ways they've marketed the product. So you have the students running the coffee shop. You have students in the marketing class who are creating marketing tools to help with the coffee shop. We have students who are in our food services class, our FACS classes, family and consumer science classes, where they're coming up with different products that they could sell in the coffee shop. So it's not just students in the coffee shop, it's students who are learning about preparing foods and all that comes with nutrition services, marketing, and business all coming together. And one of their marketing tools, I guess it was a marketing tool, they created a drink for me called the Friendly Superintendent Special. And it's called a bubble drink. And at our Edgewood showcase that we had on September 5th, it was the highest selling product that night. So a lot of great things happening, and all thanks to the Redevelopment Commission. So, any questions?
Well, you have to have some talented people to help make it happen, so it's not just us, but I'm delighted to see what they have accomplished. I'm looking forward to see what the success is of these students as they graduate.
Well, but without your funding and your support, we would not have that opportunity. So I definitely want to get that message across tonight. So, yeah.
I have a couple things I was interested in. The playbook that you're producing
Yes.
for each of your levels, does that get approval from your school board?
So
Or how do they end up buying into this long-term plan?
Okay, great question. So we started off, first of all, sending our administrators to high reliability schools conferences. And then we started taking teachers. So just this past fall, we took 36 people to Birmingham, and where they learned about the new art and science of teaching. They learned about the importance of culture and making change, causing improvements to happen, the importance role that culture plays in that. And so along the lines, we've taken now 4 out of our 5 school board members. We had 2 that I took to the conference last year in San Antonio, and then 2 more went in Birmingham this past September. And so we're to the point now where I will soon be bringing a resolution to the school board. Well, they'll pass a resolution saying that we are a high reliability school corporation. Now, then each school has to go through these levels of certification, and that's what we've been working on now. And we just had a meeting with an HRS coach last week, and each school improvement team met with the coach, and they looked at their playbook for level 1 and gave them some feedback on what was missing, what they needed to revise. 2 of those schools are a little further ahead than the other 2, and that's okay. Those 2 will probably get certified in level 1 by end of this semester, and we hope the other 2 then by the end of the school year. Now levels 2 and 3 are a little bit more critical and complicated maybe. That's going to take a little bit longer to get through levels 2 and 3. But from the school board on down, we are creating buy-in. And hopefully I'll be there for a long time, but even when I decide to retire and the school board has to hire a new superintendent, that superintendent will be expected to implement these initiatives. That's the plan.
Next. One of the things that we've observed in our budgets going forward is that our tax revenue seems to be going down rather than up. We don't expect that to be a continuing trend, but there are going to be these ups and downs. And I want to make sure that you are aware that that is possible and have contingencies in place to deal with that, because while we know we can provide some funding, we don't know that we can always provide all of the funding we would like.
Sure. Well, and that's understandable. That's the real world. And we're always prepared for that. A recent school safety grant that we receive every year. This year we got a little bit less. So yes, we have a great my assistant superintendent who handles the financial picture. Is always working hard. I'm always pushing him to work hard to make sure that we're in a financial situation so we can provide our teachers and our students with the resources they would need. So yes, we would adapt. When I say the words that would come crashing down, I'm just really trying to say to you how important it is that we really value that. But it would be something. It's who we are. So it's not anymore. It's not like a program that is here now and 5 years from now it won't be. This is who Edgewood schools have become, and that's who we will be long into the future.
And my last question has to do with one of the things that happens in business, if you run a business, is that you need insurance. How does the insurance aspect of that small business get handled by RBB since it's ultimately responsible for that activity?
Right. Well, we have a liability insurance company that we work with before we implement something. We will talk to them about what our plans are. For example, in our design labs, we have some tools that students have to be very careful to use. And so our plan was to make sure that whoever operated that tool, that they went through the same kind of a training somebody on the job would have to go through. So we came up with that plan. We met with the representative with the liability insurance company, and they give us guidance on what to do differently, what to revise. So we're same with the golf cart. Before we went to the board and asked for the school board to approve purchasing the golf cart, we had conversations with not only the insurance company, but others on how we could do that safely.
You get your student leaders involved in those discussions?
Not directly with the company itself, but in the past, like when we were setting up the coffee shop from the very beginning, the students had to meet with the local health department. And when the health department comes and they do their inspections, the students are there. And so, sometimes it's a real eye-opener that I can't just go do something. I have to make sure that it meets the local the nutrition guidelines, safety guidelines. So when we were putting the coffee shop, when we were building the coffee shop and trying to determine what equipment we wanted to have in there, the students were part of that. I would be transparent in saying some of the conversations with the liability insurance company, they're not directly in those meetings all the time, but sometimes they are.
But they're aware that that's an issue that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things that happens in business is you get something like that established, and then as you get turnover, it just kind of perpetuates and people don't understand why it's there and what it means for it to be there.
Well, and that's really important to me. We haven't got to this point yet, but I would almost like to go back to the beginning with a whole new cohort of students and talk to a group of students about how to create a business plan, and just all of the experiences that these students have had, take another whole cohort of students through those same experiences. Right now, we're focused on growing the coffee shop and other student-run businesses. We have the design lab, which creates they make trophies for. Well, I think the Bloomington Chamber of Commerce gave out awards recently, and had an awards night. And the awards that were given out that night were made by our students.
Good. I like that.
But you're right. And when I get excited about making a profit of $30,000, that's fantastic and amazing. But you're exactly right. We need to make sure that the students are going back to the beginning and learning how to set up a business and how to meet with people and that they have to meet with to make something like that happen. It's a classroom.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate your being here and being so candid.
Thank you. I'll listen to it again.
All right. Well, thank
Do
you.
that.
And you're welcome. October 30th at 11:30 is our next Business Leaders Advisory luncheon meeting. October 30th at 11:30 at the high school. If you want to go, just let Jeff know, and Jeff will let me know. Okay? All right.
I have something on the 30th, so I don't know if that's going to work or not.
Now say hi to
One of us
Randy
could come.
online there. Hey, Randy.
There you go.
Hey, guy. Good job,
Thank you.
Sanders. Exceptional work.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hope I didn't take too much time.
No. All right, next up on our agenda is a discussion of the annual spending report. Jeff, you want to give us some background on this and then answer some questions?
Yes, yeah, recent changes in state law requires each RDC to do a spending plan and submit it by the 1st of December each year. As part of my work, I'm in contact with various law firms in Indianapolis. One of them sent out a model spending plan, and I just kind of filled in the blanks to kind of reflect what their spending plan would look like with the blanks filled in. I think it includes all the information we need. And I think in an email to you guys, I'm not sure I'm in love with the format and how it's done, but it does include all the information. So I wanted to get this in front of you guys so you guys can give me feedback on what things you'd like, what things you don't like, what changes to make, so it would come to your November meeting as an item for action. And all the numbers in here are taken straight from the council budget for all the TIFs combined.
Oh, okay.
I do have some comments on the format as well.
Yeah.
Under item A, you list the different bonds that we've got. It would be nice if we had information about the total principal that we pay during the year and how much interest we pay during the year for each of those. And then the total at the bottom. So that we got a reasonable handle on how much each of these has outstanding.
And you want those broken out per bond with principal, interest,
Yeah,
total.
principal and interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. That makes more sense.
Please.
Thank you, Richard.
Well, in a lot of these, I understand the number. I want a little more information about how the number got here.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Under item B, I would add an annotation that this is per agreement with RBB School Corporation. And under item C, where does that number come from? The 585,000. I looked at this originally, I thought, oh, this is equipment, personal property acquisition that we do, but I didn't know what it
Economic
was
Development
because the
Plan.
fire truck is someplace else. So what is that number and where does it come from?
That number is what is in the budget under primarily under the engineering and construction line for the West Side TIF. I'd have to pull the rest, but that would be expended, that would be money that would have been appropriated for actual projects for next year.
Okay, yes, some annotation that would indicate what it's for. So these are project expenditures in 2025.
And maybe even a listing of
Yeah, see,
which
and
projects.
their engineering and construction expenses for 20.
A question on B, would it make sense to include the agreement as like an exhibit or an addendum to this?
Sure,
Yeah.
you could. I don't see why not.
I think the audience is the commissioners and the council, and I think
That would help,
letting them have
definitely.
that piece of
Oh, yes,
information
no,
would
I
be
think
helpful.
that's a good idea. Yeah. Numbers by themselves don't mean very much.
Right, it doesn't. I looked at it, I had the same question.
So see, they did that. Get any grants? F is this is a ladder truck for the town of Ellettsville Fire Department. And I had a question about whether that goes here or gets duplicated, because there's another category for spending or loans to Ellettsville or Bloomington. So under item K, reimbursements of the Bloomington or Ellettsville, and actually that truck, they are purchasing it and we're reimbursing them. That's the mechanism that's happening, correct?
That is the mechanism. I put it in the expenditures related to capital for fire services, because
Right.
that seems to be the most. I also think that reimbursement under that code section, and I don't have it in front of me right now, but I believe that's if we were doing a road project and the city of Bloomington was actually doing the work, but we contracted for a portion of that road
Right.
because it's in the TIF district or with the highway department or something
Right,
like that.
okay.
So I think that one is much more specific
Okay.
than the fire.
All right, I'm good with that.
And on K, Richard, it should say Ellettsville and not related to Bloomington, right? Should we even mention Bloomington?
Well, we could end up repaying Bloomington if they did work for us.
All right, okay, I'm fine.
So under L, so this is the 4,430,000, this is the state. So this is this is our contribution.
This is anticipating that the Hunter Valley Road will be completed next year, and that is the remaining balance left on that bond.
Okay, so so that the 4,000,004 is for the Hunter Valley Road project
Correct.
funded by the State Road 46 TIF bond.
Right.
All right, so I'd put in the Hunter Valley Road project as well.
That makes
This is
more sense.
probably not knowing what the code sections are and stuff to know it's something. All right, I talked about that. All right, the only other question you want to add these up again, because I got a $50 difference in the total.
I will add them up again.
Other than that, I thought this was as good as you could do, given what you've got to work with. As I said, not quite what I would do, but if it meets the state's requirements according to this memorandum,
The other
I
thing
see no reason to not do it.
The other thing I contemplated is maybe at the beginning, just kind of, each of the four TIFs has its own little story. Like the Fullerton Pike TIF was put in place to complete the Fullerton Pike project.
Right.
And maybe putting that at the top, and then like between like right above the spending plan for 2025, just maybe a background section that kind of outlines why each TIF was created and what its purpose is. I thought.
Oh, yeah, that's sounds good.
I think that's a great idea.
That's a very good
because
idea.
You and I know it, but nobody else, and whoever comes
That's
after us.
In the bond documents, is there a statement of their purpose in the bond document itself?
Each bond will have its own statement of what that bond is for. And
Okay, you just cut and paste those bond statements?
well, I wasn't going to put it for each bond. I was just going to do it with each district. Like the West Side TIF District
All right.
was founded
Oh,
at this
good.
time, and it basically was generated to help the area
Would be
around
helpful.
the GE plant and kind of that kind of
Okay,
a.
that's fine, that's fine. Okay, those were the only comments I had. I'm glad to see they're doing this. The other part that I was trying to make sure I got a handle on was, Lisa's comment about this was there wasn't anything that she had planned that wasn't here, but it's not always explicit in terms of the projects that she's got planned as to how they match up with this budget. Now, we do get that when the LGF comes in and gives us their annual reports, and we get that. It would be nice if we had that consolidated in one place, because now it's in different documents, so it's hard for us to, I mean, this is gonna put all this information in one place. It'd be nice if that information was in one place as well.
We'll have to think about how to do that.
Yeah, just that's not a do it, it's think about some kind of similar kind of thing that would give us a way to say, oh, okay, so we know this is what our plan is. This is what we're executing on now that we've made commitments for, right? So we can make sure that we're,
And that was one of the things I was struggling with this is because what you're discussing would be a TIF by TIF idea, right? And
Right.
this kind of combines all the
Consolidates.
TIFs together, which I think for the purpose of communicating, hey, this is what the RDC is going to do next year, makes a lot of sense given the audience.
right, and if I'm a state regulator, that's what I want to see. I don't care about all the details.
So that's, because I've never thought about the TIF districts as a combined entity because it doesn't
They're
make
not.
sense to me, given how we have to look at the funding source.
They are distinct legal entities, so.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So that was my last thought about this, but,
Thank you.
okay.
So what I will do is I'll try to make some changes to this, work with Lisa, probably the next couple weeks, get it out to you early November, so you guys have a chance to look at it prior to the next meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
We have to prove it, is that what you're saying?
This will have to be approved prior to December 1st. But the purpose of tonight was I filled out the template and I'm like, this just seems like we're lacking.
Well, now, does it have to be approved by anybody other than us?
No, this is your plan to the commissioners and the council.
Okay,
The commissioners have to sign off or do anything with it?
They
Or
will,
have
they will
to
get a copy
accept
of
it.
it and they can look at it and then
Do they have to accept it?
I think we just file it with them. I think if they read things that they're unsure of or don't like, then I think they should come to your meeting.
I could see
council.
that they would be required to accept it, that's the only thing. Because it's money, that we're saying.
well, there
is-
isn't, it's not actual money because
That's
it's a
right.
plan. It's
That's
not.
right, I know.
I see it as a information from you to them saying, this is what we're going to do next year.
Right,
And
and I do notice that does need to be uploaded to the gateway. So it is, in that sense, it's something which becomes rather official. Okay. On we go.
I do not believe, since we don't have a quorum of the voting members in person, I do not believe we can vote on the minutes or the claims.
Okay,
I have one question to go back to the plan. what if it changes? Do we have to go back and amend the whole thing, or?
I think if it changes, it changes. I think there is no statutory requirement.
Okay,
And if you look at the bottom, it has a lot of language that says it
Okay.
may change.
Okay, I didn't read everything.
I think to be in the spirit, if it changes significantly,
right,
we should alert the council and commissioners that it changes. Likely they'll already know.
that's right.
Right, because they will have approved the items.
That's right.
that are the changes.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask. Okay, so we can't do the minutes, right?
Correct.
Well, I do have, before we, instead of voting on it, I will point out to you that below the table, which is that you created on the minutes for August 21st,
Yeah,
that sentence, it says, the current balance in low for the west side TIF is at would allow for. I think that the in should be an is and the at should be an and. So that sentence reads reasonably.
Well, it's LOW. That means LOW. LOW is the software program. It's spelled
all
low,
caps
but
probably.
it should be all caps.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. That'll be okay. If it's an N, that should be an LOW.
I will put allow the county's
right.
financial software system.
That would be a good idea.
And then, under item 3, minutes, which is the report of the minutes for that, or approval of the minutes, you've got the word form, and it should be from in the second line before the date, May 15.
Correcting it from form to form. For now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only ones I found. Okay. So we will delay on those. Does the delay on claims cause problems for anything? These are all things that I think would have been paid anyway.
Correct.
Yeah.
The only one that may or may not have would have been the RBB, but we will go ahead and run that through and we'll ratify it today.
I believe it
Okay.
has been processed.
Yeah, or you can, if you need my signature on something, just send it to me and we'll take care of it. Okay. All right. Comment. Any comments from the staff that we haven't heard already?
I just say every time the RBB comes and gives their presentation, it's always one of my favorite meetings. So I like to hear what's going on with that and how they're utilizing the funds. And
Me too.
as someone who has never ran a small business myself, I think it's always interesting to hear about the kind of stuff that they are working on. So,
Well,
It's exciting.
Yeah, my comment here was to make sure that the kids are not just being trained as employees to put out drinks, that they really need to get involved in the entire business
Process.
cycle. That's the important part of what they've done, and I think
That's true.
Dr. Sanders just seems to be aware of that. All right. Lisa, anything? Nothing?
I don't have anything unless you guys have any questions on projects.
Oh, we're moving along. Well, not much happens here pretty soon, right?
Actually, we just did the full deck pour for Fullerton Pike Bridge.
Okay.
That section,
excellent.
that section should be pretty well completed by the end of the year. And then they'll just have to come in. We're gonna try and do some more work to the roundabout area than we anticipated only in the spring. So I think we're gonna kind of move some of that around. But yeah, it's the trail that connects to the bridge that's already been paved. So it looks really good. So.
Good.
Fantastic.
All right. Commissioner's comment. Randy, any comments?
No, I have to commend Lisa and the contractors on the Fullerton Pike progress, though.
Okay.
It's moving along really quickly and people seem to be very satisfied with it. So hats off to you, Lisa.
Yep.
And then, but budget-wise, I mean, it comes down to on our spending plan, we're just literally utilizing the money as it comes in, and there's not going to be any excess is what it looks like from budgets and such. So I just want everybody to be aware, as you pointed out, Richard, to Dr. Sanders, that, you've got to be prepared for changing times based on where things are. Appreciate it. Thanks for the hard work, Jeff, on the budget. That's good presentation, how you put it.
Commissioner Tucker, anything from you?
No, I just like to echo what Dr. Sanders said. It's been I've seen the kids in action. They're learning a lot about how the business world operates, and I would highly encourage you, if you have a chance on October 30th, to come out to that business leaders, because I've been to it twice. And it's amazing what some of these kids are doing. And they learn from the business leaders in the community, which is awesome.
Kiesling, anything?
I was out in the county a little bit stuck in traffic mostly, but I got to do some of the roundabouts. And I noticed Arlington roundabout, 17th and Arlington, was pretty small compared to the other roundabouts. Am I wrong? How it's
It's
designed?
smaller, and that's, of course, that was a city project.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm not sure how they built that and the capacity and everything. I've
I was
heard that.
coming in from 17th, from the west side, and it just seemed like it was a little snug getting around to where I'm going.
It is
Signage is-
smaller, yeah.
The signage is pretty good, but I didn't exercise my senses to figure out whether everything was correct, the way I would want it or not, so.
Yeah, and I think like our Roger Street was built where we added that truck apron.
Yeah.
So that adds that extra pavement to
Yes.
where when the bigger trucks go around. I'm not sure that the 17th and Arlington
Doesn't
has
have
that
it.
same design.
No,
Oh,
no.
it has a truck apron, and it is well used because
sure.
they can almost go straight
Straight
through.
across, yeah.
But it makes a big difference, though, having those aprons
Oh, yeah.
for the trucks, that really makes a difference. Thank you. That's all I got.
All right, and I have nothing in particular at this point. I think I talked about all of the things I had in question. All right. So,
And our
I
next
think we are
meeting is
ready
what?
to adjourn.
There's November and December, and it's all coming near holidays. Is there any problem with any of those?
For 20th.
November, there's no conflict. It's the week before Thanksgiving this year.
Right.
December, there might be, but hopefully we can get everything wrapped up in November, and maybe
Right.
not need one in December, which is
Well, I was
typically the goal.
I was looking at the calendar because I was trying to figure out whether because some people were already making changes for some of the things they were doing, and
What's the date of the November meeting?
20th. December would be right next to Christmas, I think. No, not quite.
Number one would be, if we have it, would be December 18th.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, I'll plan on the 20th then, November. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank for a great job. Thank you, Jeff, for all the hard work you've done at RBG.
Good deal.
Move that
Appreciate it.
adjourned.
Sure.
We have a
Take care.
motion. We have a second.
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 We're adjourned. Thank you.